Hello again, it's Brendon Payne with Coastal Academy of Real Estate, and today's question has to do with besides commission splits, which is always a really, really important topic as a new licensee. You want to figure out how am I going to make money in this business? But besides commission splits, what other factors are important to consider when you're interviewing to decide what company that you're going to go with? So besides splits, what else is important to know? And great question, and I want to answer first by letting you know that there's something really, really important about splits and commission that I think is going to help you from here on out. And just like you're going to have to defend your commission that you're paid, either working with buyers or sellers, then the offices and companies that you consider should also have to defend where their split's coming from. Here's what I mean. Your split, the portion of the commission that you get paid that goes to the company, is an investment. That's an investment. It's no different than the seller that's hiring you and going to pay you a commission to sell their home. They're making an investment in you, in your experience, in your ability to market, in your ability to negotiate, in your ability to hold their hand through the transaction, provide good service, and 15 to 20, 30, 200 other things that they need in that transaction. Your investment of your split in the company should be similar. Meaning, if you're going to make an investment, if it's a good investment, it has a return. So if you're going to invest X amount of your check as a split, then what's the return that you're getting? And be able to be clear on that, because without a return, eventually you're going to go, why am I doing this? And then you're going to get into that pattern of trying to figure out, okay, do I want to go somewhere where I can get more or get the same and just not have to pay as much of an investment? And that's a tough scenario. So be clear that your split that you give with your company should always be an investment, and you want to be able to calculate the return. So how do we do that? Here's 3 other things that you can think of besides just the split to consider when you're interviewing to find the right office, the right company to be with. Number 1 is, does the office have a track record of creating producers, meaning creating people that have come in as new licensees like you, and get them up and running quickly before they leave the business because they didn't do any business? All right? I'll repeat that. Does the office or company have a track record of being able to bring new licensees in and get them stabilized? Basically take them from new licensee to agent that's doing business in the time period that they want. Now, the reason that this is so critical is because if that isn't there and you end up with, say an incredible, you're at 95, 99% split, but they've never gotten anyone up to speed as a new licensee. It's only people that have come in and transferred. That could be a challenge because you're coming in without the experience of someone else. On the flip side of that, if they're only giving, they're taking 75% and you're only getting 25%, and they have brought 15 people in and made them incredible producers, then probably that's not going to seem real fair to you either. So somewhere in there's got to be a balance of, do you have a track record of bringing people in as new licensees, getting them up to speed like I want to be, and is it fair? Okay, that's number 1. Number 2 is, do they have things in place that you're not going to be new forever? You're going to get up to speed. You're going to start doing deals. Do they have some things in place that you can grow into? Or once you start, have you experienced everything that they've got? Because when you start growing, and let's give you an example, you start at 0 deals, and everybody there is in the office is, they're doing 5, 6, 10, 12 transactions. And in a year or two, you're past that. You've moved all the way through the process, and now you're the number 1 agent in the office. Now that's great, but did they have processes and systems in place that you could grow into Or are you going to pretty much be tapped out as soon as you sign on board? Because if you're like most agents, once you get in and get stabilized, that's step one, then you want to look at how do I grow my business? And you want to make sure that there is room to grow, because without it, then you get frustrated and maybe start looking, and now you've got to change and go somewhere else. That can be costly. It can be costly in time, and it can be costly in your marketing and everything else that you're doing. So make sure that you're considering, is there room to grow here? I'm new now, but if I'm not new in a couple of years, is this company going to allow me to grow with them? Because they've got a wide range of producers. They've got people like me, new, and then they've got people that are very seasoned and that they're, that are doing, 100 plus transactions in their office. That's really important. And the third one is, do they have some systems in place that you can get on board right away that are going to allow you to scale your business and focus on the generating side of the business? Listen, right now, because in the real estate industry right now, there are so many things that are expected of the agent to do for their listings, for their buyers. We are literally supposed to be in 50 places at one time. It's really difficult for a new licensee to come on board and be expected to pull off all the things that the consumer wants from the agent today. Now, that doesn't mean that the agent shouldn't provide those, and it doesn't mean that the consumer shouldn't expect those things. It just means it's really tough for the agent to do them on their own. So one of the things to consider is, are there a lot of the things that the consumers want out of the agent that the company will provide for me, so that I don't have to invest in 10 or 12 different systems? Okay, a great example is website and CRM. A website, for the most part, is something where people can find you if you send them there. You're probably, as an individual agent, not going to invest tens of thousands of dollars to all of a sudden start showing up in the top searches as a new licensee. It's very expensive, and you're not going to compete with the big offices and companies that are out there. You just want one so that when you give people your card, they can find some cool stuff about you. That's really what it's about. So you don't need to go out and invest all this money in trying to find a website. Maybe your company that you consider is providing one for you. Another one is a CRM, your contact relationship or your customer relationship management tool. Basically, the people that you talk to, how do you stay in touch with them? There's CRMs out there, probably from a minimum of about $75 to $100 a month up to thousands of dollars a month, depending on what all they do for you. As an individual agent, you might spend a week doing all the research and trying to figure out which one of these do I use. Well, another thing to consider is if your company, your office, is providing one of those, that might be an added benefit that it makes more sense than you taking on a monthly bill, and your investment in the split that you're giving is covering that. So those are just three of the things to consider, and there are literally hundreds of things to consider that maybe one office offers and the other doesn't, and it's reflected in the investment that you make. So again, my name's Brendon Payne with the Coastal Academy of Real Estate. Let me know if there's any other topics that you have questions on. Would love to do a quick video for you. Reach out to us through email or drop us a note or a text. And thanks for watching this, and we look forward to helping you in the future.